Or it could be something massive. Maybe you're having an air conditioner installed, getting central air. Joe's prices at A&E Heating and Cooling will beat anybody. And I really flat out encourage you to go and call on any two other companies. I don't care who you have. Get those estimates and then say to Joe, all right, you're number 3. What's it going to cost? And if by chance he comes in any way higher than the other two, and he won't, but if he does, say, yeah, well, these guys gave it to me for this. What do you got to say about that? And he's going to say, tu madre es una puta, and then he's going to give you, a lower price than the other two. That's how he works, man. He might be upset, but screw him and his dumbass, handsome face. 616-516-8579. A&E Heating and Cooling. While I'm at it, the managed IT service provider for the show is Blue Frost IT. I had Alan from Blue Frost checking out my setup yesterday during the podcast to determine that everything's looking good on the tech side of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Anytime I have a video issue, it is not a Blue Frost IT issue. It is a Comcast thing. I need some equipment upgrades, and everybody's been like, come on, stupid. We don't want the podcast interrupted anymore by dumb things happening. That said, when I don't know what happened yesterday, we had an audio issue where all of a sudden there was some crazy static on the podcast. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea, and that was not hell, I don't even want to speculate what the hell it was because I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting off track already on the show. Blue Frost IT, what they do is for small and medium-sized businesses that have tech issues or could have tech issues, they make it so that your small or medium-sized business has a tech support team on call. Imagine that. Because if your business is humming along, then all of a sudden you get in the weeds because of a tech problem, man, business stops. You don't want to be that guy. It's a very affordable thing to have to be signed up with Blue Frost IT every single month. In this day and age, as we get more and more techie for even the smallest businesses, you must have a managed IT service provider on call, because the last thing you want to do is be unhooking all your shit and it's got all these viruses and you got to haul it over to Best Buy and some chump is going to sit there and go, I don't know what the problem is. We're going to have to send it out to Wyoming to have it looked at. 3 months later, when you're out of business, don't say I didn't warn you. Call upon Blue Frost IT. They're online at Blue Frost IT. Wait a minute. It's Blue Frost, Frost, tit.com. BlueFrostIT.com for more information. This show on June 17th comes to you from the Metal Works Body Shop Fear Bunker Studio. Metal Works. On your mark. Get set. Go!
And now, here's a guy who got tired of being fired by corporate radio. So he took up being fired by Patreon subscribers instead. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily rant, expletive-filled podcast covering news, nonsense, and my personal shenanigans. I do it each and every day at about this time. I start usually a couple minutes after 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday through Friday. You could remember me if you want to get this show live. It's at on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. There's the live element, similar to what I used to do on the radio. That's how you get this terrifically polished product. The fact that since I was 15 years old, and very humble too, I've been doing this exact thing. I'll be 50 in less than a month, so it's kind of like second nature. I like to keep the podcast moving. I like to keep it simple, and I like to do it live. I love the fact that we can do this show live and then just have at it, take the audio, post it for you to enjoy at your leisure on any of the podcasting platforms. Not only Facebook, but on Twitter, at Eric Zane Show. It's a Periscope video. It's live right now. The Blue Frost IT Twitter handle at Eric Zane Show. And also on YouTube, which does have a sponsor, just hasn't been named. Talk about a business that has just been put on hold because of the pandemic. That is the sponsor that I have not yet named, but it is sponsored. And so you can see me on YouTube as well, Eric Zane Show on YouTube. Instagram's brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, right over here over my shoulder. Kind of in the way of the sign today. I have to be strategically placed so that I don't block any of my sponsor signs. Joe Martinez kind of gets screwed because my fat head is in the way of the A&E heating and cooling sign, but this room is like a NASCAR room. There's so many sponsors and plenty of room for more. Love it. That's the way it goes. This show was built by you, the audience, and the sponsors. So, very good. I just lost my train of thought. Can you tell? All right. Coming up on the show today, plenty to talk about. I'm going to check in with Dad for Dear Meathead. That comes up at about 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay? Dear Meathead brought to you by JM Synthetics, selling AMSOIL for you. Everything is sponsored on the show. In fact, I just sponsored Diana. You're like, what? Yeah, I was sitting here at a client who, and I'll reveal who it is soon, who was like, yeah, I wanna do be a little bit more involved in the show. And I was like, okay, well, let's do this. And the person says, yeah, I want to sponsor something because you got the studio sponsored. And I mean, O'Neill is sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair, and Bruce is sponsored by Grand Rapids Hybrid. What else can I sponsor? And I'm like, well, I mean, the email sponsored by Green Clean Technologies and Twitter. I mean, it seems like everything is sponsored. And I go, do you want to sponsor my wife? What? Yeah, every time I talk about my wife, I'll say this story about my wife is brought to you by, or my wife is sponsored by. So I'm actually sponsoring my wife. News of that will probably come out at the start of next week. So, Dad, at 9 a.m., I need questions for Dear Meathead. I've got a couple ready to go. And we can also talk with him about some of the things going on in the world today. But as always, he wants to hear from you. I had a thought about Dear Meathead. And it's come up before in my brain about my 86-year-old father. And I am not sure. I'm starting to really come around to the idea that Dear Meathead might not be, we might not be doing that much longer. I don't know. There's just been a couple of things going on subtly that make me think that we might have to put the bit out to pasture. And it centers around the health of my father. As you know, my dad does have dementia. There is no cure. It will not get better. It will only get worse. So as I progress through this, as long as my dad is cognitively aware and appropriate, then we would continue to do that. But there may come a time when I realize before he realizes that we should not be doing it anymore. So, I know this is a little heavy, but I just don't want my father embarrassed in any way about during that segment. So it's come up in my brain the last couple of days. There's been a couple of things going on that have been happening on a personal level that I'm like, okay. Originally, the plan was to do Dear Meathead Zoom tomorrow. That's on hold. It's just a couple of things. So, just a little food for thought. Eventually, that day is going to come. That doesn't mean my dad's at death's door or anything like that. I need to be very, very aware and protective of him. And so I'll be listening with a very keen ear and kind of paying attention to some cues that you don't even know about. So there's something to think about. I don't want to start out on a bad foot on the show. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is inevitable. But I want you to remember my dad in the fun, happy way, and I don't want anything to get off the rails on the segment that makes us kind of like feel a little awkward or uncomfortable. All right. I hope that makes it clear. Anyway, but today it's happening, so I'm looking forward to that. And if you have a question for Dad, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you could, keep them brief, short, sweet, and simple. And you can ask him about anything, okay? And even if it is a little longer, I can always edit it as we go, so no big deal there. And only if you really have a question, too. If you really have a question, something you want to ask Dad, there you go. All right. That happens in a little while. Get your questions in at Eric at ericzaneshow.com and the Green Clean Technologies inbox. Who knew that the most offensive statue of them all, in my opinion, is about 4 miles from where I sit? Oh, what the hell? It is getting a lot of attention these days, and I'm like, why is this a thing? Who's the dick that made it? Who's the asshole that said this is a good idea and a good look? Oh, my God. And I don't think I always overreact, but I don't think I am here. And I'm also shocked that it's split 50-50 in terms of people saying bring it down and keep it. It's just insane. I imagine it'll be the same a split to people in this audience. But, oh, my God, is this a shit show? I'll share with you what's up. Hey, remember the coronavirus, huh? How could we have forgotten? Well, it seems enough have forgotten that we're seeing a crazy surge from states that opened way too soon. Florida, I'm looking at you. Oh, my God, this is just awful. It's freaking everybody out all over again. We'll get to that. A lady Olympic athlete is exonerated. This story is probably one of my favorites of the year. After she was banned for having banned substances in her body, they're like, all right, you can't compete anymore. We know you've been using banned substances. We can see an abundance of it in your body. You have failed the drug test. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? She's a boxer. And they're going, oh, my God, your body is just coated with this stuff. It is oozing and dripping with this banned substance in your body. How could you have thought that we wouldn't notice this? It's like your face is covered with this stuff. And she's like, what are you talking about? I've never taken this stuff my entire life. Oh, my God, I'm losing my mind. I can't go to the Olympics in Tokyo. Yeah, you're out of here. You're banned. She was exonerated. Thanks to Mike for sending the story along. How she got the banned substances in her body is ridiculous. If you're just paying attention to any of what I was just saying, you probably have an idea. A proud member of the KKK decided to out himself to the hillbillies in Wisconsin. We'll talk about that. You'll hear how the world found out about his racist views. And we have a guy, 31-year-old dude from New York, who is on the fast track straight to hell after video shows him doing something unthinkable. Thanks to Brandon for sending that story along. We will get to that in just a bit. But first, plenty to talk about before we start getting into the meat of the podcast. A little bit sore today. First of all, as I move around, You see, chest and back on Monday on the P90X. Now, if you're a Boring Dean push-up king of the land, he would laugh at what I have the ability to do right now, and that is nothing. This workout, chest and back with P90X, is all push-ups and pull-ups, and it's a bitch. Oh, my God. You do standard, and I've got those stands, push-up stands, which allows you to get, like, deep. And so you do, like, standard push-ups. You do military push-ups, which is your elbows in. You do wide push-ups. You do way in push-ups with your hands together for your tricep. You do decline push-ups with your feet up. And you do all these different hand grips of pull-ups. Wide grip, under, close grip, standard grip. And all the while, my feet are on a chair when I'm doing the pull-ups so that I can do them. Otherwise, I can't do them. I don't have the strength to do even one or two. So I can only do like 5 or 6 pull-ups while having my feet on a chair to help me get myself up. However, in the time that I've been doing it, I am seeing that I feel stronger. It's absolutely fantastic when you start to go through this progression. And when I started doing the push-ups, I was doing them from my knees. And then I started doing them not from my knees, like regular push-ups. And when I started that, I was doing like 5%. And then I was like wore out. 5. That's it. Of all those different hand grips. Now, 10. Dramatic. Boom. Straight up. It still sucks. I'm still weak as shit. But, I used to bust out 30, 35, no problem. The pull-ups, I didn't have to have my feet on a chair. I'd bust out 15, 20. Oh. But it's getting better. But the problem is, when you do it on Monday, you don't start getting sore until Tuesday night. And now I'm like, oh, God, son of a bitch, am I sore. Oh, my boobs. Right here, it's just ripped up my chest, my back, my lats. And then yesterday was plyo, jump training. And just as my titties start to hurt, you're jumping in the air, so these muscles, these boob muscles are surging up and down, and it just hurts to jump. It's absolutely ridiculously painful. My big flabby boobs and boob muscles are killing me. Father's Day, right around the corner. Plans have come together quickly. I was telling you about my father earlier in the podcast, and this is how it is with Dad. He's like a teenage girl, because just a handful of days ago, I guess he got in his head that someone may come and see him, and instead of saying, embracing that, he gets out in front of it and says to me, he goes, you are not coming to see me this weekend. And I'm like, and actually, I wasn't planning on it. And you're not coming to see me this weekend. And you might be like, Zane, why would you not go see your dad? It's Father's Day, and, he's 86 years old. I mean, Jesus. Well, it's been in my brain about the coronavirus, and my dad has been super, super protective of himself. So that's what I was thinking. But then I hear through the grapevine that he really secretly wants people over there. And I'm like, well, why not? It's just weird how he handles it. So then Diana says, why don't we drive over there Friday in the camper and stay at a RV park nearby, and then pull the car and then go see him on Saturday. I go, it's a great idea. He says, see, this is why you're the leader of the family. This is brilliant. I love you. This is fantastic. I call him. I go, Dad, guess what? What is it, guy? Saturday, we're coming to see you for the day, Diana and I. Oh, my gosh, this is great news. I am so happy to hear you are come seeing me. How will I be for you? Oh, okay. And so he's like, all that other nonsense about I don't want anybody to come see him is out the window. He's over the moon. He's so happy. So, all right, that's how it's going to be. Drive out there, see Dad, and this all just came together rather quickly. So it's worth mentioning that since we're leaving Friday after the show, we're going to skip Fear Bunker Trivia so we can go do that. But we'll get back to that very, very soon. I might even do it next week on Thursday evening. Okay? Maybe. I don't know. But you see, because I want to leave town next week, too, to go up north. Summer's weird. And we've got a lot that's going on right now. But, all right. So Diana says, can you take Friday off and skip the podcast? I go, no. Why? I go, because that's what I do every day for a living. It's not as easy as just. And she goes, well, yeah, I know, but I go, look, it's one of the keys to having a podcast is doing the podcast as much as possible. Yeah, I know, but I mean, I took a few days off not long ago. I'm not going to take that. No, absolutely not. And besides, we're getting ready in less than a month to go to Tennessee, and that's going to be best of material for that period of time. So, no. I take it back. I will be podcasting during that vacation for very short intervals each morning, probably like 15 minutes, because Terrytown RV is sponsoring the trip. It'll be the Terrytown podcast. Anyway, I go, no, I'm not. Forget it. Well, then we're never going to get out of here. Well, then we're not going to go because I know how much you always screw around. And I said, I promise we'll get out of here Friday at noon. No, you always say that. And then at 4 o'clock, the car isn't even on the dolly. And I'm left over here picking my ass. This is terrible. So forget it. I go, well, let's bet. And I said, and she goes, all right, noon. We have to be out of here by noon. Not 12:01, but noon. And I go, all right, let's lay out the bet. If you win, you get what you want. And if I win, I get anal. She's all like offended. Let's get her offended. Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi.
How's it going over there?
Good.
Now, no one can see you right now, but they can hear you.
Yeah. Can they hear Daisy snoring?
They sure can.
She likes to snore.
Yeah. I love her so. Hey, I was just talking with the audience about something that went on around the house here yesterday. Can you guess what it is?
Well, there's a couple things that happened.
This happened indoors.
Early or late in the day?
I don't know, about the middle of the day, maybe mid to late.
When Bruce got out?
It wasn't when Bruce got out. That was interesting though. I should write that down. Forgot about that. It was when we were talking about
Oh, our bet?
Yeah, the bet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't talked about what you want out of the bet, but I did get to the part of the story about what I wanted as a payout for the bet.
Uh-huh.
And so I can't tell what they're probably laughing about it, but do you remember what I wanted out of the bet?
What you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I remember what you said.
What did you
I'm not gonna repeat it, but yes.
So that's not on the table. You said there's no way that can be included in the bet.
No.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I couldn't really remember what you said.
Yeah, right.
Now, I don't actually get anything out of the bet though.
Well, you'll get something. We'll figure that out.
All right. Well,
just not what you said.
Well, yeah. All right. Very good. All right. Well, that's I'm going to get into the rest of the story.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
thank you.
bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, see you. Bye.
See you, bye. She looked at me so mortified when I said it. She's like, why does everything have to be like that? Why do you always have to talk about that? What is it with you guys? Why do guys always want to put that thing there? She goes, if it's 12:01, I get a new iPhone. And I said, all right, if the vehicle starts moving and the clock says 12, I win the bet. 12:01, you win the bet. Yes, she agrees. This is an opportunity for her to get that stupid iPhone. So, all right. Now, she's right, though. It always takes me forever. I always screw this thing up. We are headed all the way over to the other coast of Michigan, right underneath what's known as the Blue Water Bridge. I think the community is called Port Sanilac, right at the mouth of Lake Huron. The St. Clair River, I guess it might be the Detroit River. Maybe it's called the St. Clair River at that point. Because you got the Detroit River that goes into Lake St. Clair, and then the St. Clair River goes into Port Huron. I think that's how it works. So we're going to be right there at Lake Huron. We're going from one coast of Michigan all the way to the other coast of Michigan. Beautiful state. I love it here so much. So we're going to be there, and then going to go see Dad on Saturday. Fantastic. Have to be out of here by noon on Friday. It's just interesting here, Dynasty. Yeah, just don't do any podcasts. No. The only way this podcast stays afloat is by doing it. You cannot be inconsistent on your podcast. All right. So Father's Day plans have come together. Speaking of my dad acting like a teenage girl, we had a teenage girl incident in the house last night, and all I wanted to do was go to bed. And I'm not even sure what the specifics were of this, but all I know is that when a 17-year-old came walking into the house, all I heard was wailing and crying like her parents were dead, but they weren't because I was right there. Madison, and there was something going on. I'm not sure what. I didn't really get the gist of it. All I knew was that this was a job for Mom. Because I can cut down trees in the backyard. Diana cannot. Diana can deal with a sobbing teenage girl. I cannot. And holy cow, this was the big one. And you usually have a period of time of about 1 hour until that settles down. And you better be damn sure, if you're me, that you be careful to be sensitive. You better at least make an attempt to reach out, either go downstairs or whatever, and say, "Oh my gosh, what's happening? I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Oh, honey, can I?" Put your arms around her. "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Oh, I'm so upset. I better go get your mom." Go upstairs. Yeah, you got to go down. You got a big one here. This is a DEFCON 5. This is a big deal. Something's happened. I have no idea what, but so I tag team out. Mom goes down, takes care of that. It's for about 1 hour. I'm in bed, and it's getting real late, and random intervals with no warning, you will suddenly hear. Oh God! It jars me awake. I like call up. I'm like I FaceTime Diana. I'm expecting to see Madison, throwing herself out of the window or something. What the hell's going on down there? Oh, nothing. We're just dealing with this. It's no big deal. It's good. It's taken care of. I go, it is? Yeah. I woke up from a terrifying dream because I heard this screaming child's voice. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we're making progress here. Oh, okay, cool. All right, I'm going back to bed. All right. I dare not get mad. I dare not show any impatience because Diana's sitting right next to Madison. If I show any impatience or anything like that, it's going to make this 10 times worse. I've been around the block a time or two. So I'm like, oh, yeah, well, all right. Well, no problem. If you feel the need to scream again a lot at the top of your lungs, that's no big deal. I'll just wake up. Yeah, it's okay. No problem. Just get through this. You'll be fine. All right. See you around. Click. Laying there, falling asleep, dreaming about baseball, dozing off. Every 15 minutes, and at random 8 minutes. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It just goes right into my brain. Horrible. Hey, I forgot. I was just talking about something else too.
Yeah.
I was trying to go to sleep last night, and I kept hearing screaming downstairs.
Yeah.
Is there any way that I mean, can't you impress upon the people that are involved in these scenarios that it's okay to cry, but intermittent, piercing screams and deadly wails of anguish go right into my psyche and destroy bits and pieces of my brain and this like warfare on my brain cells.
Yeah, I know. Well, in the heat of the moment, there's no suppressing that for her.
Do you recall this with Jacqueline, the older daughter, at any one point?
There's been moments, but not.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different. I'm not, I mean, it's okay. I think I just heard your belly. Was that your belly?
That was my
I
belly.
could hear your belly through the
You
phone.
could?
Oh my
You could?
God, yeah.
That is crazy.
Were you like this? Did you have moments like this? And then your mom because I think any dad can relate when the daughter is completely off her rocker for a period of time. Is this mom work to do to handle this?
Yeah, pretty much. I never really. I don't recall being like that though.
Do you
I was,
think? Yeah.
I was pretty chill, I think.
Do you? So you're thinking what you're saying is she gets this emotional volatility from her father?
I would say so.
That actually seems about right. All right. Well, that was awful. It was a horrible night, and then everybody. And then didn't I say to you? I mean, first of all, when you came into the room, why did you open the door and shut it like it was a bank vault?
I didn't mean to. I think the fan took it.
No, the fan was aimed at me. I mean, it was a slam. It was kerblam.
No, it was not a slam.
Oh, yes, it was.
Slam.
And and all I wanted to do was, in every moment that I would fall asleep, I would either hear wails of anguish, or the doors slamming, and then I said to you, I go, all right, just as long as Madison understands that now is bedtime. It's 11:30 at night. No one can come in now. That's it. And then, sure enough, 10 minutes later, the door opens up again, and we have her, interacting with us. Kind of like, I wanted to say goodnight. She was at the end of the torment, but wanted to say goodnight. And I understand that. I love that, but I would have rather her not come in the room. I guess what I'm getting at is,
were you asleep?
Did you? Well, pretty much. Did you two conspire to keep me awake? Is that what
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was it.
When she is with you and she screams at the top of her lungs like that, do you go shh or no or hey, let's keep crying but not screaming? Do you do it?
Yes.
You do, huh?
And then I say, if you're going to continue to scream, I'm leaving.
I don't know if that's going to help. Could you next time, maybe it happens, go down in the pool shed or perhaps the car or drive around the neighborhood or something like that?
Sure, honey. Anything for you.
All right. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, whatever. Bye.
Thanks. This is fucked up, man. I tell you. All right. And then, as Diana indicated, she goes to let the dogs out earlier in the day, and Bruce is not on a leash. And Bruce must be on a leash. And I go, why is Bruce not on a leash? She goes, well, I'm taking them out to the kennel, and they always just run out to the kennel. O'Neill goes to the kennel, and Bruce follows him because he follows O'Neill everywhere he does. I go, this is a bad idea. I wouldn't do that. No, it's good. Of course. O'Neill gets out there, and he goes in the kennel. Bruce stops. I'm watching it. Diana's out there, and Bruce stops. Looks at her the way he looks at her when he's ready to take off, and then it's like he's saying, fuck you. And then she looks at him and, gone. He takes off, and I go, I told you. She goes, shut up. And I go, yeah, so the worst. And now I was waiting for a person. I was waiting for a visitor at that time, so I couldn't leave. So I go, well, good luck. She goes, I know. Yeah, go get Madison. I go, Madison's taking a bath. You're screwed. So I went and got my shoes on. I knew I was going to have to. See, the only way to get Bruce when he's out is to actually chase him until he gets exhausted, and then he just stops. And it takes about 10 minutes. So you better be ready to run. Somehow, though, he pops out from the neighbor's house. I opened up the front door, and he came back to me. This is a very rare thing. So we had that going for us. That all worked out. Then, later in the day, I'm in my bedroom, and I hear, ow! And I'm like, what just happened? And I go running down the steps, and Diana is laying in the mud. We got this spot that it never drains. You have this in your yard where it's always wet and muddy, and your foot sinks into it every time we step in it, and it's horrible. It's like a swamp, about a 5-foot swamp. And somehow she wiped out, and she's laying there covered in mud and this dead grass all over. It's terrible. I go, what the fuck happened? I fell. I go, oh, God. What a day. So much. You see, I could do this show and just talk about, I could call it Shit at My House. Stupid shit at the Stupid Shit at My House podcast. All right, thanks for joining me. That was Stupid Shit at My House podcast. Enjoy your day. Tomorrow, more Stupid Shit at My House. The open of the Eric Zane Show podcast brought to you by several key sponsors. But before I get to them, don't forget I'm on Cameo for Father's Day. Hire me for $15.95. I'm dirt cheap. And I'll do a cameo for Father's Day for Dad, for the father in your life, whatever it may be. I can make it as sweet or as rude or roast style as you want me to make it. You are the boss. I am the employee in this case. Hire me, cameo.com/Eric Zane. Okay. First of all, Terrytown RV. You want a camper, travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, Class A, Class C, Sprinter van, truck camper, folding camper, formerly known as a pop-up. The only place to get it is Terrytown RV. They're in West Michigan. On Division between 68th and 76. Shop online at terrytownrv.com. You don't have to be in West Michigan to get an RV from Terrytown RV. Support my sponsors. If this is something you're in the market for, you will not be let down. They are the best. I'll introduce you personally if you like. Just send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Otherwise, go check out their selection at terrytownrv.com. After you get that RV, and then you go out on your adventures, and you crack up the RV, that's going to happen. Everybody does it. Or you damage the paint, or you hit a deer, or something stupid happens. Get it fixed at Metal Works Body Shop. Brand new sponsor this week. In fact, they have sponsored the studio, the Metal Works Body Shop Fear Bunker Studio. Go see Ryan and Fran. They will fix that thing good as new. So when you damage the RV, they fix them at Metal Works Body Shop. This is a business in Coopersville, Michigan. If you click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com, takes you right to their Facebook page, shows you some examples of their fine work. And if you want, also, you can just search their website, and all of their social media is on that at metalworksbodyshop.com. All right, thank you to them. And last but not least, Horizon Hydroponics, Horizen, hydroponics.com. I just shot a Growers 101 video with John from Horizon Hydroponics. Great fun. That will be done very, very shortly. Have it all edited up for you to check out as John. I tell you what, I love picking the brain of people who know everything about their industry. I'm always very interested in that. And this is the type of place at Horizon Hydroponics in Grand Rapids on Alpine. You just walk in and, like, for example, he's got a display of a praying mantis. I go, what is this all about, John? He says, well, we sell mantis eggs. I go, what are you talking about? Well, it's a pod. And what it is you buy a mantis pod, and you throw it in your garden, and then you let nature take its course. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, those mantis pods open up, and there's 1,000 mantids inside of there. And they go out into your garden, and they are the alpha. They kill every critter that can affect your garden. What? And then, it's not done. They have a war with each other. So while you're there nestled in your little bed, they kill all the bugs and get strong and big, and then all the praying mantises fight to the death till there's only one left. This is no bullshit. And I found this out because John's an expert at Horizon Hydroponics. So for like $18, you get like this praying mantis pod. You throw it in your garden, you leave it alone. The next thing you know, you have no bugs. I just found that to be amazing. I love picking his brain. Anyway, that's what I did in this video. And if you want all the expertise that goes with buying everything you need for growing stuff indoors, Horizon Hydroponics is where it's at. They got a store on Alpine in Grand Rapids, the Growers Outlet in Byron Center, store in Kalamazoo, and in Lansing. Online at horizonhydroponics.com. Did you hear me? I sounded like a Michigan accent there. Dad cab. I'm stoked about going over to the east side of the state, Port Sanilac. That's where, that's right near where I went to boys camp, where I got molested. Yeah, that actually happened. I'll never forget when I revealed that on the radio. I was at a summer camp, and I don't know why we were talking. It was on the old Freeburg Hot Wings days, and I was, and I knew I had gotten molested. But I didn't really, it wasn't like I was, it wasn't for a sexual gratification. The person who touched my penis was a camp counselor. And I remember when it happened, and I told my brother, and my brother told my mother, and my mother reported it. And so that was it. And I don't remember what happened. I was very young. But the damnedest thing, it was so screwed up. This camp, and I might even go back there just to see. I'm not, obviously not traumatized by this, because it wasn't like, you know, I'm not going to be overly dramatic about it, but who knows what the hell happened to this guy. I sure hope that they ended up removing him after my mother got wind of the information, but shit, this was screwed up. They say at the camp that if you have to take a leak, you got to put a sock. Like, if you know you wake up in the middle of the night to go take a leak, I'm 10 years old. You got to tie a sock on the end of your bed. Because if you're a bedwetter, they want to ensure that you don't wet the bed, and that does happen. So this camp was set up by the St. Vincent de Paul Society with the Catholic Charity. So it kind of, you know, I know all the Catholic jokes. I get it. But there's a lot of inner city kids go to camp, and so this is the first time I ever saw a black person too. Actually interacted with a black person. I'll never forget that because when I showed up at the camp. In this camp, I found out my mom sent my brother and I away at this camp just so that she could get some quiet time because there was my dad was not around. So we go to this camp, and it's known as Camp Ozanam, and it's a very good camp now to this day. But this was not the best incident. I show up at the camp, and I'm on a bus, and I immediately got scared shitless because all I could see was black kids. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm going to get killed. Everybody's going to kick my brother and my ass. Holy shit. And they run it a little bit like a military camp. They were very strict at first. You had to march in line, and you had to get up after you ate breakfast. First of all, you had to get up for like a reveille, and then the flag raising. You're rubbing the sleep out of your eyes, and they send you to the mess hall. You eat. Come back, you got to clean the cabin. And then they do inspection. And if you fuck up the inspection, you're up Schitt's Creek. So there's all this structure involved in it. For 2 weeks, this camp goes on. And, you know, I'm like the only white kid there and in my cabin. And I found out that a lot of these kids were like inner city kids who didn't have any money, and the St. Vincent de Paul Society would pay for these kids to go to camp. So you get all these black kids, inner city kids, and they've never even seen a tree, let alone any camp experiences. So it was great for them, and it was great for me, too, because I made like a ton of friends. And that was the first time I realized that, you know, there's no reason to be scared of black people. I mean, when you're 10 years old, the only reason why you're scared of black people is because it's been burned into your brain by dubious sources that black people are bad. So then I was like, fuck, these guys are just like me. And it was awesome. So I made all these friends, and it was awesome. But the one weird part was this counselor, and his name was Chris. And so he says, all right, everybody, put a sock and tie it on the end of your bed if you have to take a leak. Well, I never had a problem with that. So I didn't put a sock on the end of my bed. So it was weird when, after a few nights, one night he wakes me up and he goes, come on, let's go take a leak. And I'm like, well, I don't have to take a leak. Oh, yeah. So he puts me up against the, I'm standing at the urinal, and the guy pulls my pants down. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, and so I'm standing there. I'm holding on to my crank, and I remember I did not go to the bathroom. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes up behind me. He reaches around me, grabs my crank, and he, like, shakes it. Like, like if you've gone pee, you're shaking the last couple drops off. He did that. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, this is bad. He put it back in my pants, buckles my pants for me. He goes, come on, off the bed. I just had my underwear on. And or pajamas, and then you come on off the bed, puts me to bed, and then that's it. And then there was never anything else after that I recall, unless if that happened, I don't remember it. But I told my brother, hey, dude, you won't believe it. What happened? My brother's 14. This guy touched my dick. What? Yeah, that guy right over there last night. He woke me up and he touched my dick. So that's about all I remember of that. And then I remember telling people about it. But God, today is Tangent Show because I started talking about going to Port Sanilac, and then I started talking about some guy holding my dick. What the hell is wrong with me? All right, statue time in West Michigan. I think this thing's coming down. You won't believe it. This is 4 miles from my house in Allendale Township. The community is split 50-50 about this, and I cannot believe why. You got this, they got a little area in this public park where it's like a salute to heroes, and there's statues representative of every war, okay? So, if you have each statue is from the era, it looks like a wartime in that era. So World War II would look a certain way, World War I, perhaps Revolutionary War. I'm guessing because I don't recall seeing this statue or this park or this memorial. I think I may have seen it once, but I never really took notice. But obviously nowadays we are taking notice. And there is also a statue on a depiction of the Civil War. Now, if you wanted to do an accurate depiction of the Civil War, especially in Michigan, which is obviously a Union state, you should have a Union soldier stepping on the neck of a Confederate soldier. That, to me, would be the only depiction that's necessary of the Civil War. Or maybe Union soldier has Confederate soldier in like a headlock and is punching him like Nolan Ryan did to Robin Ventura. Something like that to show us kicking ass. Or maybe no depiction of these terrorist Confederates anyway. Why the fuck do we need terrorist Confederates in the local Ring of Honor to honor our wartime veterans? We don't give a fuck about Confederate soldiers. They're the fucking bad guys. At that time, that was another country trying to ruin our way of life, the right way of living, and we had to whip their ass for them to come around. So, why the fuck there would be any depiction of the Confederacy, I have no idea. So that's bad enough. But you add into the mix a little black slave boy at the feet of these two depictions. What you have is a Union soldier with his gear, dressed for the times. Back to back is another soldier, a Confederate soldier, and at their feet is a little black kid, a kid with a cotton, one of those satchels that they would have when they pick cotton. The kid is a little black kid, no shoes on. Holy fuck, I cannot believe this thing. This is, of all the statues we've talked about, Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee on a fucking horse. whoever, whatever Confederate piece of shit. All of those look like a fucking Chuck E. Cheese animatronic compared to this shit over here. What the fuck is going on? Here you go.
So too this morning. As calls for racial justice continue to fill streets across the country, we have seen a movement to remove Confederate statues, sometimes through vandalism, sometimes through a city process. Here in West Michigan, it's no different. There is a monument in Allendale that has gained some attention. It depicts a Union soldier, a Confederate soldier, and a slave. And there are calls for it to be removed. News 8's Justin Kolar is live this morning at the statue. He spoke with a group who's working to get it removed and the group that thinks that these kinds of statues should stay. So, Justin, what's the conversation around this statue?
Casey, we spoke
Well, it's really fucked up, Casey, because I'm staring at a statue of a little black boy picking cotton at the feet of two soldiers.
township leaders here in Allendale Township, and they say they were put off by the protest group in this case, airing their complaints before going to the board itself. Now, before anything can happen with this statue, whether that be stay or go, the board has to vote on it. Now, much like the Civil War itself, you'll find people both in favor and opposed to the statue are split right down the middle.
What?
Roughly 500
How?
miles away from the nearest Civil War battlefield.
Who says keep the statue?
Statue is divisive.
Nestled in Allendale Township's Veterans Memorial Garden of Honor,
It is offensive.
you'll find this statue.
It displays a symbol of hatred.
A Confederate soldier holding his flag, back to back with his Union counterpart. Cowering beneath them, a barefoot slave.
This slave boy is kneeling on the ground
love
wearing
it.
a cotton picking satchel.
I love this guy, whoever he is.
What could be more demeaning to African Americans than this image?
Mitch Kale represents the Michigan Association of Civil Rights Activists. He and his group
They need to, in order to make up for this, for the amount of time that this statue is up, they need to make a depiction of the same black boy all grown up swinging his big fat fucking dick right and hitting these guys, hitting the Confederate soldier right in the face. A statue of dude swinging his dick, hitting guy right in the face. That's what we need in order to make up for this shit. Fuck bringing it down. We need to see that statue.
want this statue gone.
What this statue does is it equates Confederate and Union soldiers as American veterans, when in fact Confederate soldiers are not American veterans. They were traitors to the United States. They were enemies of freedom, and we are
Hey, man, I'm pissed. Hey, man, fuck that shit, Zane. That's bullshit, Zane.
asking for this statue to be removed.
However, it's not that simple. Groups like the Sons of Confederate Veterans, who happen to have a Grand
Racist.
Rapids chapter, say removal of the statue would be an act of unjust cultural genocide. They encourage others who feel as they do to contact those entities involved to respectfully express their unfavorable view of these
shut
acts.
up.
Entities like Allendale Township Supervisor Adam Ellenboss.
I have had some really good conversations with people on, I get
All right, I got to pause this. We're going to have to come back to this because if I keep my dad waiting, he's going to get pissed. He was half pissed at me last week when I called him like 2 or 3 minutes late. So hold that thought. In fact, I'll bring this up with him on the podcast. Wouldn't surprise me if an old timer like my dad was like, leave the statues there. But if you have any questions for Dad on Dear Meathead, reach out. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Dear Meathead is brought to you, as always, by JM Synthetics. Online at jmsynthetics.com. That's weird. All right, I'm going to restart this because Skype is acting funny. Give me a second. That's weird. Hate when that happens. If that's the case, I will have to be screwed. Might have to have Diana bring her phone up if that's the case. We'll get it done. Anyway, don't forget, if you want, you can reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com on Dear Meathead, and I have T-shirts available of Dad. All right? The Dear Meathead T-shirt, always a big hit. That is all at ericzaneshow.com. Tons of merchandise available for you. Doing two things at once is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. All right. Let's see if we can do this here. shit. Start call. Well, it's not working. I need Diana's help. Let's see. She's like, third call. This is unfortunate. All right. Well, I am screwed on Dear Meathead. So he's probably going to be waiting and wondering what's going on, and that is not good. Maybe if I just dial it in directly. This is the last thing I'm going to do. No, this is screwed. Oh, that makes me sad. All right. Well, let me go back to what we were doing then as I try to regroup.
So too this morning, as calls for
Entities like Allendale Township Supervisor Adam Ellenboss.
I have had some really good conversations with people on, I guess you could say, both far ends of the spectrum and everywhere in between. Now, to be very clear, the statues were built to represent the Civil War. They are not there to glorify the Confederacy.
And this is the dude who runs the township. That's under that. We know that that's intended to say, hey, this is a representation of the Confederacy. But the optics of it look like shit, okay? I can't believe somebody thought this was a good idea whenever. I want to know, first of all, when it was built, when it was installed, who designed it, who decided it was okay to have this depiction exist and think, oh, yeah, nobody could possibly get offended at this, the fact that there's a little slave there. And for anybody who says, hey, that's representative of history. Yeah, a fucking history no one's interested in being reminded of, you fucks. Forget the fucking history. You need look no further than Nazi Germany. The Germans got their act together and figured out nobody wants to talk about this shit. It was a horrible time. We're well aware of it. So there's no glorifying or memorializing Adolf Hitler standing over, looking out over the masses at Dachau, for God's sake. This should not be a thing. This is so inappropriate.
The Sons of Confederate Veterans say the Southern soldiers who fought for the Confederacy, quote, personified the best qualities of America.
What?
They say the preservation of liberty and freedom were the most...
I hate this Confederate group. Hey, anybody talking to you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Dean says you need my phone to call me. Boring Dean.
Oh, thank you, Dean. Yeah, I do need. I called you on FaceTime. What happened?
I answered it.
You did not.
Yes, I did it.
Yeah, something's going on. All right, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
You're done.
Oh, that was huge, Dean. See, you guys look out for me so well. Oh, my God. Another example of how this show is powered by the audience. I'm so happy. Oops. You're late, guy. Where you been?
Time you called.
Yeah, Dad, how are you?
I'm okay.
I had a real technical issue.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and so, but I through just a couple of things, I was able to get it taken care of. But for a minute there, I didn't think I was going to be able to get you on the show.
Oh, what's going on?
Well, it was just it's boring, but it was just something that I was kind of hamstrung. I couldn't really do anything with it, but because I got an assist from one of my great audience members and friends, reached out to Diana and said, "Hey, bring Eric your phone. He's struggling to get your dad on."
Oh, my gosh.
So I'm good now.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, you sound like you're coming from a distance.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, Dad.
Okay.
How about now? Because, I'm using a different setup.
No, that's... I can hear you clearly, but you're coming from a distance.
Yeah. I think it's because of the phone, but...
Wait a minute. What is it?
Turn the phone up. Do you want it turned up?
But you want things that she can turn up the phone.
Oh, you got a volume control? Well, what? There you go. That's the answer right there.
Okay. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Will you please?
Yeah.
Hold on.
They're going to hang up on me.
Okay.
Yeah?
Oh, now that's the way it is. That sounds great.
So it was your fault, not my fault.
They're absolutely correct. So who cares whose fault it is as long as we can hear each other, right?
Right on. Dad, I want to start with this. I was just having a conversation about statues about Confederate soldiers, and there's been a big groundswell about statues that need to be torn down that are depictions of Confederate war heroes. Have you been following this at all? I know. Yeah, definitely.
But my God, I got people of mine walking down the street and here, hi, how you doing? Nobody says, hey, you jerk, We like each other.
All right. Dad, Kirsten writes this. And by the way, Dear Meathead is brought to you by JM Synthetics online at jmsynthetics.com. And, before I get to Kirsten, I'm going to see you guys. Diana and I are going to see you guys this weekend.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, and I have a bunch of goodies for you from JM Synthetics.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
That's nice of him, really.
Yeah, he loves you, so I'm going to bring that along. He wanted to sponsor you because he loves the segment so much.
Thanks so much. I appreciate him, really.
His name is Jason Mays.
How can I forget Jason?
All right, very cool. All right, so I have that, but Kirsten writes this. Dear Meathead, I have 2 bird feeders in our yard. I'm constantly refilling the feeders because of the squirrels eating all the food. I like the little squirrels. They're jerks, but I hate that they're eating all the bird seed. Any suggestions to keep the squirrels off the feeders?
Funny you brought that up, because I have an expert sitting next to me that would tell a remedy that the squirrels would not be able to climb that pole.
Okay.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Wipe the pool with Vaseline. They slide right down it.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear that. That sounds brilliant. Putting Vaseline on the pole.
That's right.
We used to sit here and watch them jump over on the pole and slide right down.
Slide right back down. We had that problem. And she cured that, baby.
All right, there you go. Try that.
It probably cost you a jar of Vaseline,
All right, very good.
But grease it real well.
Grease up the pool is what you're suggesting.
Absolutely, with Vaseline. It costs a couple of bucks maybe, but then again, you're all set for the rest of the season.
All right, I will tell Melissa to go grease that pool.
That's right. And then, man, it is so funny. When you put them on there, you can see that sucker goes back down.
Yeah, it's slick.
If it makes it up there, you don't even make it.
Yeah, you can probably use that on any pole.
Yes.
All right, Dad. How about this? Mark writes, Meathead, I recently took your grass seed planting advice for this bare spot in my yard up at the cottage. I did exactly what you explained. I was even sure to include that very important thin slice of soil, as you put it.
Yeah.
And then he says, now just after a couple of weeks, the seeds are sprouting. However, my dog only likes to lay in that spot in the yard, and I think he is damaging the young grass. How do I keep my dog off this spot in my yard, Meathead? Please embellish.
Take 4 sticks, put them on the ends of that area that's covered, and get some kind of a plastic cover or something.
Yeah.
Wrap around those poles so the dog cannot go through. Take the sticks in the ground.
Yeah.
2 on each end of the area.
All right.
And close it in with any kind of a what?
crime scene tape.
Joanne says crime scene
Oh,
tape.
yeah.
I don't know what
I
that
don't know
means.
if that's going to help. I think you got to, I mean, unless, because a dog could probably.
And wrap it up, all the four sides. I mean, you can find a way. They can find a way to make sure that it was wrapped, and that nothing can get through.
All right.
And when the grass grows to its fullest growth and water it regularly and all that, then you take all that down. Hey, voila.
All right, very good. Dean writes this. Dear Meathead, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington had 800 slaves between them back in the day. Do you think Mount Rushmore should be blown up because it has...
What a question.
Because...
No, it shouldn't be blown up.
Oh, no, don't give an idea.
No, that's part of the history. Leave it alone.
Well, I think he's suggesting that since people are taking down statues because of that reason, is it...
Hey, no, I think the statue is, for some reason, now, to me it doesn't matter. But some people, especially the situation that we have in here, they have an insulting type of thing.
Yeah.
I think, we talked about that this morning. I think you should take it down with a real respect of
Yeah, I know. So
past and put it away.
at the end of the day, black people are wonderful people.
Yes. Oh, my God, yes.
Oh, my God, yes. Okay. Let's see. Dear Meathead, in your opinion... What? No, I'm not going to read that one. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Give me a second here. Struggling. Dear Meathead. Let's see. That might be it. I thought I had one more. Hold on. We talked about the Mount Rushmore. We talked about the grass.
Yeah.
Tim writes this. Dear Meathead, in your opinion, what type of person openly brags about prostituting his wife and dogs? As always, we appreciate your wisdom. Happy Father's Day, emailer Tim. I'm not sure what the hell he's talking about, but that's his question, Dad.
Repeat that one part. Prostituting your wife and what?
He says, in your opinion, what type of person openly brags about prostituting his wife and dogs? I don't know. Maybe he interacted with someone who does that.
Well, I think they better take a gun and shoot themselves.
Oh, right.
I mean, that's a sick thing. How could you prostitute your wife?
I don't know. It sounds terrible. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That is, I hope whoever he knows that does that, or if he's just giving me a hypothetical, that is not really a thing.
I've heard of cases like that. You know that? But I didn't know that the husband would condone that.
Okay. All right.
You know, no, I have heard of that. I don't know if what I heard was prostituting them or she was doing it behind his back.
Maybe that is the case. Kenny.
But I have never heard of anybody wanting to do that and be happy about it.
Yeah, that's very strange, Dad. There's no doubt.
Whoever does that is a sick puppy.
Yes. Kenny writes, Dear Rob and Joanne, hope all is well with you both. We all really enjoyed the Zoom Meathead meetup a few weeks ago. We're excited that one day we'll be able to do it in the near future. Question, do you think we should gather up all the racists in the world and ship them off to the outback on the island continent of Australia?
Yes. I'll tell you, honestly, God, my idea is a great idea. Take the criminals, serious criminals, and then what you're talking about, and put them on the island. Let them worry about their own clothing and all that, and occasionally food drop. Don't kill them. Food drop, and let them live there. And make sure that you got some sort of a guard going around the island. Nobody gets away.
Dad, I love it. Everybody loves it. The island idea has been a spectacular theme throughout the entire run of Dear Meathead.
Well, thank you so much for acknowledging that. I love you guys. And I hope to God one day we gather all of the guys that made the calls to you, and we all get to see each other.
I thought you were going to say put him on the island.
You're talking about the bad people. I'm talking about the good people.
I know it. I was being silly. All right, I love you, Dad.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
You're coming tomorrow about what time?
No, I'm not coming tomorrow. I'm going to come on
Saturday. Whenever you're coming.
I'll be Saturday, I don't know, whatever you think is best.
Well, before dinner, before lunch.
Yeah, I want to spend a lot of time. I'll be there in the early afternoon.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. I love you.
I love you too, and have a wonderful day, and say hello to your honey.
Okay, Dad. I'll talk to you
soon. And hug the kids.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Dear Meathead, brought to you by JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. We did it. We did it. Thanks to you. Thank you, Dean. It was very kind of you to reach out to Diana to give me that phone. I have the phone on Do Not Disturb, Diana's phone, and yet all of her, it's like she's a teenager because you heard all those notifications. Beep, beep. She's got numerous people that are reaching out to her. And it's weird. I set her phone on Do Not Disturb, but yet it kept disturbing me. Whatever. We got it done. I was glad to do it. Where did Benny go? I think Diana took Benny. What a screwed up show. I lost my dog. I think what had happened was the internet went apeshit, which may have affected both the live stream and the Skype at the time. As you know, I have been dealing with some kind of an issue with with Comcast, but that is being dealt with. So we've still been kind of trudging through it. There are times that it happens on this show where things kind of come to a standstill because of that. So, all right, whew. Well, we got it in. Thank you. I appreciate the assist. When I saw Diana in the room, I was like, oh, thank God somebody had enough sense to reach out to her. You guys are awesome. Dean, that was a great save. You're a good man. Okay. Anyway, back to the story, because I'm not quite done. I'm not quite done talking about this story. In fact, before I get to it, I think some people have weighed in on the topic. Let's see. No, I take it back. Kenny says Benny's behind the couch. Hang on. What a show. Can you believe all this shit happening? Hold on. Oh, hey. Hey. Come on. Come on over here. Come on. Come see me. Come see us. Come on. Come on. Come on over here. No, we're not going over there. Come get you, baby. Benny, come on. Come here, everyone. There, that's the boy. Okay, come on. Come on up here. Come on, man. Come on, Benny. Here, take this. He did not want to be in here. So much shit going on in this show. He's behind the couch. Hey, man, the dog's behind the couch, man. Yeah. How did you know? How could you possibly know that? Jesus, you guys are awesome.
Be clear, the statues were built to represent the Civil War. They are not there to glorify the Confederacy.
The Sons of Confederate Veterans say the Southern...
And I understand that. It just doesn't matter now. Now, we can't have this. This is... The day of reckoning is here. Get rid of all these stupid fucking statues and rip them the fuck down.
Soldiers who fought for the Confederacy, quote, personified the best qualities of America. They say the preservation of liberty and freedom were the motivating factors in the South's decision to secede. making no mention of the atrocities of chattel slavery.
Isn't that offensive? That is so offensive for a group of essentially white racists to come in here and say that removing a symbol of hatred against blacks is offensive, or that it's somehow cultural genocide. I'll tell you what genocide was. That was the African slave market.
Displaying a rebel soldier here in a place of honor with other
I
veterans.
don't know how these Confederate pieces of shit how they actually have a leg to stand on. How do they not see this? It really boggles my mind.
Further compels Kale that removal is the only option moving forward.
We're not going to listen to white racists and listen to them and say that, try to twist this around and make it look like the
I don't think we should listen to any racist.
Confederate Army was somehow something good for African Americans or somehow good for this country. This statue honors the enemies of freedom and treasonous Americans who left this country and went on to fight to preserve slavery. And that's why it needs to be removed.
Man.
Casey and Teresa, we ran a poll on Twitter. It's still active if you'd like to participate. They're posing the question, do you find this statue offensive? And if you do, should it be removed? After gathering nearly 750 votes, you can see just how evenly split people still are on the topic of Confederate images and statues. Now, Township Supervisor Ellen Boss tells me the board will meet to discuss the future of this statue next Monday, June 22nd. In the meantime, though, if you happen to have an opinion either in support or against this statue, he's provided his email address. He wants to hear from you. You can see that on the bottom of your screen right now. We're going to continue to follow this developing story, and we'll bring you the latest, both on air and online at woodtv.com. Reporting live in Allendale Township this morning, Justin Kolar, News 8.
Yeah, of all the statues, we're talking with my dad about, all right, go ahead and put them in a museum. All right. This one I would not, though. I would, if I ran that township, again, this is why I could never be in a position of power. First of all, if I was in a position of power and I saw that my community had that statue, it wouldn't be there anymore. There would be no vote. We wouldn't open it up to public discussion. I would take my truck and back it up and then attach a line to it and yank that fucker down, and I'd throw it in the river, and that'd be the end of it. And then I would put a statue of, like, I don't know, fucking Richard Pryor up there, right? Anybody who's black, Barry Sanders, Rosa Parks, it doesn't matter. Or no, fuck the statues. This whole thing is so stupid. And it bums me out when people try to make a case for leaving it up there. It actually makes me anxious. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Stop telling me it's history. Yeah, a terrible history that no one wants to be reminded of. Get rid of these statues yesterday. All right. Thanks again to the Kent County Health Department for being on board with this show. They are at full capacity and running right now. They've got 4 COVID-19 testing stations, making it easy for you if you think you got the Rona. And last thing you want to be doing is wondering. So if you think that you've got a few of those symptoms, reach out to the Kent County Health Department. AccessKent.org is their website. You can call them at 616-632-7100. They remind you to cough into your elbow, wear a mask, be socially distant, and try to follow those rules. Michigan is really turned the corner because of a lot of steadfast behavior changes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're still struggling to feed the family, don't forget about the WIC program, 616-632-7200 for more information on the WIC program. You can also click on the link in the notes of this podcast, and it'll take you right to the frequently asked questions page about WIC. Okay. Baldwin Ace Hardware, the beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland. Mike and Jennifer Gilmurray way up north, right on the edge of the Manistee National Forest. Right on Main Street, USA, Baldwin, Michigan. Head in there for everything when you are up north, okay? Thank you again to Baldwin Ace Hardware. Green Clean Technologies, they clean critical environments that have data centers. What an amazing, specialized, terrific business this is. 989-560-7272. They got the gear. They'll travel anywhere that a data center is in the immediate multi-state area and clean that place. regularly. If you're have a data center, bank, hospital, whatever it may be, big business, medium-sized business with tons of sensitive servers, you don't want just the regular dust in the air landing on those key pieces of equipment. They will fry them. They're oddly charged, and that could cause an issue. There's a whole set of protocols to keep those environments sterile and safe, and it involves more than just going through with a bottle of Windex and some paper towel. GreenCleanTechnologies.com, that's their website. If you need a quote for your business, you can also call them at 989-560-7272. Okay. Wanted to get to this because it's starting to happen as predicted. Everybody thought they had this whole coronavirus thing figured out. You had people marching on the Capitol saying, let's get back to work. And the great governor of Michigan, I don't know if she's a great governor, but her great effort in keeping us safe. I mean, she was like, no, shut up. I don't care if you try to intimidate me with your stupid Ted Nugent cosplay. I'm keeping the state shut down, and she kept it shut down. The most stringent shutdown outside of the two East Coast states, New Jersey and New York. And she was very, very protective of the people. And I for one, appreciate that. Despite all the tough guys trying to intimidate her, she did not yield. And now we have a state that is a beacon of hope and recovery. Now, where we had, 1,000 people, 1,500, 2,000 a day. Now, as it has worked its way through and the efforts to keep everybody safe, Michigan is one of the lowest in the union. Per day, you're seeing 75, 50, maybe 100 people have it. And that continues to be the case. And now, as we've opened up appropriately, phased in gradually, and everybody's still practicing what I've talked about in those discussions about masks and being socially distant. You won't see a spike like we're seeing in other states that rushed open. Holy shit. Yeah, sure, you got it all under control. Let's go ahead and open. Florida, I'm looking at you. Arizona, my God, it's a fucking nightmare. Thousands of people a day now, more than ever, have the whole thing. You have complete hotspots. Texas is a shit show. Oklahoma is a mess. And Oklahoma is the place where this weekend Trump is having a massive rally. There's going to be 20,000 white hillbillies packed into this arena. And it's going to be an absolute shit show. And I, for one, can't figure out why they're even doing it. What an absolute disaster. This is not good. This is no way to try to end a pandemic. Truth be told, there is no end in sight. There won't be until they inoculate or people have the antibodies to be protected. So this is just terrible. A lot of people are going to die because of these behaviors. And I think it's important to keep that front and center. I mean, seriously, if you think this is over, you're making a huge mistake. Record highs in 6 states on Tuesday. By the way, they kept putting Michigan as being a hot spot on the graphic. And Tom Hillen from Wood TV8 said, hey, we're not a hot spot. That's not happening here. Can you please remove us from the graphic? And they did. It actually worked. Man, a big rise in cases for the second consecutive week. The states I mentioned, Arizona, Florida, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Texas. And Nevada. Highest single-day tallies of new cases on Tuesday. Holy shit. Tucson, Arizona, not the biggest city in the world, is already being stretched to the max of ICU bed filling. Oh, man. There was one story I saw about a bunch of bros were in a bar, and all 16 of them have it now, and everybody who was at the bar is now worried that they all have it. In Oregon, health officials are trying to contain an outbreak of over 200 new cases in a county linked to the Lighthouse United Pentecostal Church. A video on the church's Facebook page on May 24th showed hundreds of people standing close together. Large gatherings were not permitted under the state's reopening plan at the time. The video has since been deleted. Now they're saying that by October in the U.S., there will be 200,000 dead in the United States. Do you remember all the dicks who said, a flu year, 50,000 die from the flu every year. And I always hated that because, in 3 months we had that no problem. It's like, yeah, well, here we are, not even 3 months, and we've passed that. So, this is, extrapolate that out over, 12 months. That's hundreds of thousands of people. You do see that, right? You understand how that works. It's math. You can't argue with math, right? No, and it's just like the flu. I fucking hate those people. It pissed me off so bad. So I guess the point of this is while Michigan has turned the corner, a lot of it has to do with the very, very strict actions that were placed upon all of us. So, job well done. Yeah, you got hurt. Yeah, your business suffered, but you know what? You're alive. You should be thankful for what you have at this point. By the way, have you seen the rumor? Gretchen Whitmer grew up here, right on the west side of the state. I think she went to Forest Hills Northern. And then I think she went to Michigan State. Now, as you know, she's hot as hell, and I know you all agree with that. She's about the same age as me. And, just seriously. Whenever you guys send me those memes, I want to strangle you. If I see one more meme saying that Whitmer is Bruce Jenner or Lord Farquaad, what the hell is wrong with you people? Do you not have eyes? What an absolute beautiful face. Absolute knockout. Well, anyway, I'm bringing this up because there's a crazy rumor going around about a voracious sexual appetite. And, being married to a woman who has that appetite, I can absolutely understand what that is like. Now, I don't know if that's the case now, but the rumor is that years ago, when she was much younger, this is going to sound terrible, but people that were within her circle, like, I don't know, friends or people who know her or knew of her, referred to her as something not nice. And they called her Stretchin' Gretchen, which is fun to say. And they indicated, now, I don't know if that means she is flexible and can put her feet by her ears, or if stretching is indicative of a certain body part that would be stretched to the max because of things in it. So, I don't know. I think she should come out and talk about that. I think she should say, I want to address these rumors that I was once referred to as Stretchin' Gretchen. What a great rhyme, by the way. That is Stretchin', the way they write it isn't even a word, but it's written just like her name, but stretch at the beginning of it. So it's Stretchin' Gretchen. It's fun to say, and it may have been indicative of her. And it's just ridiculous to think that could have been a thing. Hey, look, I'm getting sick and tired of being referred to as Stretchin' Gretchen. And if she ever, did she get wind of it? Because she's gotten wind of it by now. Did she know of it back then, if it were a thing? I have no reason to believe that it was a thing or wasn't a thing. All I know is that people around here who have claimed to be part of the stretching portion of that have claimed that she, in fact, was known as that and did have quite the ability to stretch or be stretched at any given time. And if you're her, that getting back to her probably can't be the most fun in the world. Here she is, the governor of the 9th most populous state in the union, and being referred to as Stretchin' Gretchen. My God. You know, we had a governor in Michigan. I forgot her name. She was the last female governor. Granholm. That was the lady. She was another beautiful lady, too. She got a lot of shit, too. She's kind of fucked up the state, though. They single-handedly screwed it all up. I don't know if Whitmer, I mean, she's only been on the job for a short amount of time. But I wonder if she had to receive all sorts of shit like that. Of course, her name doesn't rhyme with stretching, so. But she had moles on her face. She does. All right. But there you go. So that's what's going on in that story, and I just find it funny that her nickname could in fact be Stretchin' Gretchen, and that she could hear about it. As you know, JM Synthetics, key sponsor of the show, jmsynthetics.com for everything AMSOIL. Okay? Give Jason $20. That opens up the entire product line and the savings. Spend $100. You have the stuff mailed to you. He gives you the $20 back. That's how you become a preferred customer at JM Synthetics. All you DIY pros, get your AMSOIL. They invented synthetic motor oil. BK Guns and Stuff, part of the other half of the Saranac Shit Kickers, fixing weaponry from anywhere in the world. Wherever you're listening to the podcast, if you have a busted bit of firearm, if you have a busted bit of weaponry, I should say, reach out to BK Guns and Stuff. You can get to their Facebook page through my website, ericzaneshow.com. Just click on their logo. Or you can call Benjamin or Kyle up at 616-902-2447. Thank you. And then, of course, there's the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. You know it. Anywhere in the listening audience, Mario can help you. Okay? Go ahead and get have an interview, I guess, with two other members of that type of entity in the mortgage industry is what I'm trying to say. And then call on Mario and see how you like Mario. You could do it via a FaceTime call, just a phone call, whatever it may be. Reach out to Mario to get more information about how he can be put to work for you. 231-332-6505. Trust me on this one. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Okay, this next story is ridiculous, and I'm so glad. At first, I saw it. I was like, oh, man. And then I kind of forgot about it, and then Zaniac Mike, my good friend Mike Ball, who distributes Little Debbie products through MB Distributing, sent me that story along. It's like, oh, my God, I forgot about this one. I've got to talk about this. By the way, Baldwin Ace Hardware and Little Debbie, distributed by MB Distributing, bring you Instagram Instant Trivia tonight at 7 p.m. I'll be on Instagram Live asking trivia questions to audience members. You get it right, you get $10 from the sponsors. I give away two $10 prizes each Wednesday at 7 p.m. And the way I do it is I invite you into the conversation, I interview you for a second, and then I ask you the trivia question. You have 5 seconds to get it right. If you get it wrong, sorry, you lose. Get it right, I send you $10 via PayPal or, what's the other one called? Venmo. Hell, I'll even send you a check. Thank you to Mike for sending the story along. One of the brightest stars, excuse me, on the U.S. Olympic team for Tokyo, the Summer Olympics, is this lady boxer. Excuse me. 32-year-old fighter who is very promising in her career. And I'll get to who she is in a second. I don't want to say who she is at first. Well, she appealed the decision by the United States Anti-Doping Agency, who gave her a random drug test, and then the test came back positive. And they said, look, lady, sorry, but you're banned. You have illegal substances in your body, so you're cheating, and you're out. She's like, this is crazy. I've been training my whole life for these upcoming Olympics in Tokyo in 2021. I think that's when they're doing it. Yeah, the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. I think everything got moved because of the pandemic. And she's like, how? I've never taken, what are you talking about? Yeah, look, you have this, you took the piss test, and oh my God, you've got this, and you're loaded with this, and you're coated with this, and oh my God, your body is just drenched in this. You are dripping with this. Holy shit, you've got so much of these illegal substances in you that we have never seen someone so coated with all of these banned substances. You are out. You can appeal, but you're out. So she's like, oh, fuck, man. This must be a mistake. I've never taken any banned substances. Well, it was up to her to solve her own mystery. And then she started asking around to someone very close to her, and a little bit of light was starting to be shed on this mystery. And she said, look, hey, you're all about like working out and stuff like that, and you're always going to GNC. Don't you take a bunch of supplements? Yeah, sure, I take this and that and this and that. Well, it's just sat around the kitchen table with big canisters of fucking shit that the guy got, and said, oh, yeah, well, this one right here, this chemical, this is a banned substance according to the United States Anti-Doping Agency. You're taking a banned substance, but why did I test positive? It doesn't make any sense. Was it osmosis? Or wait, what could it possibly be? Have you been slipping this in my drinks? And he's like, no, but I have been slipping you a lot of dick. What? She turned around and took that information to the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, and she said, could it be that my boyfriend's jizz is loaded with all of this stuff? And they're like, well, we did notice that it was in your. I wonder if the conversation was like, well, yeah, we did find it on your teeth and gums, in the back of your throat. It's in your eyes. Holy shit. We couldn't. Now that explains why it was in your hair. And boy, we didn't even check your butthole, but I'm guessing you have plenty of it in there too. Oh my God. She broke Olympic law because her boyfriend had so many banned substances in his jizz, and her whole body was coursing with jizz and banned substances. I wouldn't be surprised if they cut her skin and jizz came out along with, and no blood, because this chick had so much of it in her. After testing positive in March, I haven't yet told you who this is, following a sample given, she had no idea how it entered her body. USA Boxing said in a news release she soon learned that her boyfriend purchased the substances and was taking them without her knowledge while they had tons of sex. The products containing the substances were analyzed at a laboratory and corroborated the therapeutic doses used by Boxer's boyfriend, the release said. The USADA science team I wonder if when they found out, they said, all right, we got the sample now. If you could have your boyfriend jizz right into this guy's hand, and then we can test that too. And perhaps, oh, my God. I heard that if you, eat certain foods, it can affect the taste. But I didn't know you could take something from GNC and produce a positive test on someone. She is a flyweight boxer. And now She tweeted out, "I am relieved that once USADA completed an extensive investigation, they found that my case was unique and therefore gave me a no-fault ruling." I bet they gave her a wink, too. They said, "No fault. Go back to having sex," allowing me to return to competition. This has been a huge lesson for me, and now that it's over, it's been a huge lesson for me not to swallow. I'm fully focusing on preparing for Tokyo. Now, I have deliberately kept you from her name. I swear on a stack of King James Bibles, her name is Virginia or Ginny Fuchs. Yes, Ginny Fuchs. Fuchs. And I thought, there's no way it's Fuchs. It can't be that her name is Ginny Fuchs, which is actually what people just would say about her. Hey, what do you know about Ginny? Oh, Ginny Fuchs. Ginny Fuchs so much that she's got, jizz laced with anti-doping chemicals coursing through her veins. She's a walking illegal test because Ginny Fuchs. Oh, what the hell? Her name's Ginny Fuchs. And I thought to myself, well, wait a minute now. That's got to be Fuchs, right? You dig up any video of her boxing, and I fast forward to the part of her. She was, it was a foreign language speaking announcers. She was fighting some chick from Turkey, and she won the fight, and the refs holding their hands, and the announcer goes, he speaks in Turkish or whatever the language is, and then he says, and the winner, Ginny Fuchs. And the dude puts her arm up. She won the fight. Congratulations. So Ginny Fuchs is your champion of jizz, and so did not pass the test throughout every orifice, hair and eye and ear hole and nose. She's loaded with illegal substances, but she is still able to fight. Congratulations to Ginny Fuchs for passing the test. Going forward, we'll look for you in Tokyo. This is a real reason to look forward to that Olympics in a year. Let's hope that it doesn't get pushed off any further. I want to see her fight and see how the announcers handle her name. Because, I mean, if they say Ginny Fuchs, they're saying it wrong. They got to say Ginny Fuchs. All right. And boy, does she. Excuse me. My God, this one I couldn't believe when I saw it. Folks in Conover, Wisconsin, are shocked. God, there's been so much that has come out of the woodwork since George Floyd. You have arguably the worst thing that anybody has seen, his death when that happened on the streets of Minneapolis. But it has drawn out of the woodwork the best of people and the worst of people. I saw a video of a bunch of little kids that were like probably 3 and 4 years old, copying what they've seen on TV, and they were holding signs, and one kid's on a Little Tikes big thing, and another kid's like walking his dog, and another kid is, on a Razor scooter, and little kids, they all just got out of the pool. They're wearing their bathing suits, are running through the sprinkler, and the kid's holding up a sign that says Black Lives Matter. The little kid's going, Black Lives Matter. I thought to myself, that's really great. I love that. The kids are being aware of what's happening, and then you look in the comments, and people leaning right who really piss me off say things like, sad, brainwashing these kids. It's like, dude, how can you possibly say such a thing? At the end of the day here, I don't care that Black Lives Matter is organized. I don't care that they have an agenda. Yeah, their agenda is they want people to be treated equally. Is what they don't want to die. Okay, so I'm not gonna die on that hill. Be on the wrong side of this anymore. I don't think I ever was really regarding. I didn't have any opinion, but now my opinion is that I can get behind that. At the end of the day, I just want everybody treated the same and not to be treated poorly. But so you've got the good. My point is the good is coming out on people. The bad is coming out on people. And and it's I think to a lot of our benefit that the bad is coming out. A lot of people, because people are exposing themselves. Charles Michael Booth was once a wonderful soul. He's a 50-year-old man now, so roughly my exact age, and somewhere along the road, Charles Michael Booth became a fucking kook. And his town of Conover, Wisconsin, I guess it might be near Madison. He decided that he wanted everybody to know full well where he stood on the social hot button issue that is race, that has kind of enveloped the world since George Floyd died. And rather than just, all right, maybe doing his thing within the comfort of his own home or within his group that he no doubt associates with, he decided to drop the hammer and be out in front of this to everyone in his neighborhood by doing a very routine thing that almost everybody does if you have a pet, and that is walk a dog. So he's walking his dog, and the thing is, though, on this 80-degree day, he is dressed in full Klan gear, all white, green vest, the hood, hat, eye holes, the whole deal, taking a walk in this community it says Vilas County, northern Wisconsin. So I don't have any idea where this is. But there you go. I guess northern Wisconsin. It said it for me. Decided that that's how he wanted to approach this. Excuse me. Walking down the street, drinking a beer, waving at traffic near Monheim Road and Highway K in Conover on Friday evening, walking his dog. Shows a man in the outfit. People complained and said something has to be done, and that's also kind of dumb. There is nothing that can be done. This man is well within his rights to act like an asshole and do asshole-like behavior. We support his right to be an asshole. If you live in this community, you're like, I'm so glad that I now know who to avoid here. This guy's a problem. The fact that he is telling us all that he's doing this is actually a benefit. So this image, you'll see it. I'll link it up. You can see this dumbass, his dumbass. Faith said Booth told police he was just taking his dog for a walk. Joseph Faith is the Vilas County sheriff. He told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that his office received multiple calls about the dude on Friday evening. Police made contact with the guy in the photograph, and they confirmed it was Booth. They said, well, no crime has occurred, so no big deal. And I agree with that. There's no issue whatsoever. He's just walking his dog. Go for it. Good way to get your ass kicked, though. Man. One woman told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that she and her husband saw Booth walking his dog while in the KKK outfit Friday evening. She called the event so surreal, she said Booth just politely waved. Man, I would really have an urge to punch him in the stomach or just do something really, really terrible if I saw that guy doing that. We froze, said the woman who wished not to be named because she is one of Booth's neighbors and has what she called a mixed-race family. Boy, that'd be awful, knowing that that guy hates you because you've got a mixed-race family. Local NAACP called the incident a terrorist act. Come on. He's an asshole, no doubt, but I don't know if it's a terror. He's walking his dog. Not a terrorist yet. Booth intended to project what I believe to be white supremacist behaviors. Yes, by wearing this garb. Gregory Jones, the president of the NAACP, said, it's intended to create fear among people. Yeah, maybe if you let it get to you. Even people who are not of color. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to worry about this guy. He's probably a coward and a wimp. I wouldn't be worried about him in any way. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just an asshole. I support that guy's right to be an asshole. I would say thank you for letting us know about how much of a fuckhead you are, Mr. Booth. We are all lucky that we now know you are here. Okay, I want you to think about this. Totally different topic. I have paintball coming up. First off, July 29th is Paintball War 8, the COVID uprising with TC Paintball. I need you to reach out to me. This will be our first get-together. We're getting Rick back on his feet. Zaniac Rick Steinbach from TC Paintball. If you have never played this before, I want you to participate in one of the next two to give Rick a big, big boost. Plus, you're going to have the time of your life. $35 is what it's going to set you back. Normally it's $45, but for my show, we get it cheap. I have 2 people signed up for Paintball War 8. That is a Wednesday night, July 29th. That's Paintball War 8, the COVID uprising, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Your $35 get you the paint, the gun, the mask. That's all you need. I get you the pizza. You eat that. That's part of it. And then we have at it. We're back. If you've been thinking about this, I want you to join us, okay? Reach out to me, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Do it right now. Send me that email, subject line paintball, so I know you got to RSVP so we can get a head count. If that one doesn't work for you, we have a second and third shift party August 19th. That is also a Wednesday. Just under a month after that. That's Paintball War 9, the Dog Days of Paint. Okay? Same thing. Same exact deal. Just a different name. One of those two, email eric@ericzaneshow.com, paintball subject line, tcpaintballgr.com if you want to book a party leading up to that. Great time. You're going to have so much fun. Cannot wait to get back. We're going to be doing outdoor paintball with Rick. Yes! Thank you, Rick, for sponsoring the show. My goodness. Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. Last but certainly not least. Megan just sent me an email. I got to get to it. She had some details she wanted me to pass along to you. First of all, if you need service with Irvine's Auto Repair, they specialize in Asians and domestic vehicles. Okay? Also Europeans and hybrids. There you go. That's what they work on. If the big dealerships get in the weeds, they call on Irvine's. Irvines.com. Go look at all the 5-star reviews. Their amazing efforts are documented and ready for you to look at them so you can see for yourself from customers. Okay? Call them at 616-532-6600. 616-532-6600. For Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. Key sponsor of this show. They sponsor my Facebook. They sponsor O'Neill, and they sponsor Bruce. As soon as it cools down in here, when the summer ends and we start getting cold again, they're going to have sweaters that have logos on them for these guys. They sponsored the dogs, for God's sake. And the Irvine's Auto Repairs baseball team is 1-0 on the year. Megan, please keep me updated on the team. All right. They also have they're coming up with a way to support the community. Every year they have a charity event that they do. And this year they're doing something a little bit different. Details coming up about their next big plan to support the community. Every year they do something fantastic. And they got to be a little bit creative with it this year at Irvine's because of the pandemic. But we'll get there. We will get there. Thank you so much to the entire group at Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. The battery on my phone is dying, so I better hurry this shit up. Tim weighs in with the story about Ginny Fucks, the boxer, with teeth, gums, throat, and about 1 million laughy emojis. Tim says, get rid of history. Do you actually believe this moronic shit that keeps coming out of your mouth? To be clear, I agree that the statue is racist and needs to go. Well, there you go. You agree with me. Way to go. However, anyone talking about getting rid of history is inviting history to repeat itself. Oh, you're so full of shit. I'm tired of you ripping off other people's quotes, you stupid fuck. Well, if we get rid of history, we're going to do it again. You're so stupid. That's not true at all. He says, I get it, though. Now that you're a leftist talking head, You would absolutely want us to forget our history so that you and your leftist comrades can rewrite it as you see fit. You stupid fucker. I'm going to vote for Trump. I already talked about that, you dumbass dick. How stupid are you, leftist? What are you, fucking nuts? Use your fucking ears. How many times do I have to tell you this? Getting rid of that statue and wiping it out is not getting rid of history. It's supporting people who have been absolutely vilified and persecuted because of the color of their skin, you dumb cock. The fuck? By the way, Zadie, I got 2 emails from a guy named Tim, same guy, and then another one. Tim writes this: Joe from A&E is at my house right now. Tim is the one who called him up at 9 p.m., and Joe picks up the phone and says, "Tu madre es una puta."
Tu madre es una puta.
And Joe's like, "What the fuck, man?"
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete chingala.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Wait a minute.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete la chingala, cabrón.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete la chingala, cabrón.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
I gotta work on that. That means go fuck yourself. You hear that, Tim?
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Joe's laughing his ass off.
Come mis nalgas cuando yo estoy cagando, cabrón.
That's what I'm telling you guys. Eat Joe's ass while he's shitting. All right. Yeah, I gotta bail. I'm gonna save this next story about the guy going straight to hell for the Patreon. That's what I'm gonna do. That's coming up in a little bit. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. I will get to that. And off we go. Instagram, Instant Trivia tonight. Follow me on Instagram, Eric Zane Show. I'm going to go live at 7 p.m. I got it. It's scheduled. I won't forget. You all populate it. I pick you off one at a time to answer trivia questions. I try to get people who haven't been picked before. And then if I have picked them all, then I'll just go back and start doing it again. And then if you get the question right, you win $10. All right. I mean, it's fun. And then you're live with me, and we're looking face to face. Maybe I'll get to see an errant booby or a pecker. Don't do that. I don't know what my problem is. Eric Zane Show on Instagram. All right. I'm going to leave it there. This has been fun. Thank you to, first of all, you for just being part of it. And Dean, the big save, acting like a damn producer, doing things for me that I don't even know that are going on to help me get this show up and running. We were able to get to the JM Synthetics Deer Meathead segment because of Dean. Holy shit, was that awesome. Man, when I turned around and saw Diana, I knew somebody had done that. That made me so happy. See, that's how this stupid podcast is kept alive. It ain't me, it's you. I am really, really blessed. Really, really a lucky, lucky fucker. So lucky. Thank you. Have a great day. I'll talk to you in a little while. Bye-bye. Thanks for checking it out. Please share, spread the word. Subscribe, rate, and review to the audio podcast, and you have a good one. Bye-bye.